Welcome back, guys, and today I'm rewiring a stryfe for a customer. This stryfe in front of me has been sprayed, as you can see already, and the customer wants the wiring inside replaced, and he wants a LIPO fitted. Okay, so I've already opened the blaster up, as you can see here. Okay, now I've done this in the past. I've got a episode there where I go through several episodes of how I go and did my Chris Vector. But in that series, I try to do step by step so people could follow. And if I want to know how to fit a voltmeter, just go load that episode. If I want to know how to connect, to redo the wiring, just go to that episode. In this episode, I'll just do everything in one go, and I'll do cuts to the different sections. Alright, so blaster is open already. Just turn the blaster around so you can see we've got an extended battery door that the customer has provided as well. He's also provided this voltmeter. This voltmeter is a special voltmeter for LIPOs. It comes with a buzzer at the top, and it's got a button that allows you to be able to set it. As you can see, it does not really fit inside it's a little bit too big for the battery door. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to bend these pins probably about 90 degrees if I can, to get it into the battery compartment. And even with that, still there will be a little bit of a corner still showing out on the battery compartment. It will show up there at the top. Okay, but before we get to that, I need to take the wiring out. So let's get going. Apologize, I can't really zoom right now. My third device that I usually use to control the focus and the zoom, somebody in my family unplugged it while it was charging, and so it's completely flat right now. I'll try and manually zoom it. Look, let's see. Okay, there we go. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to stick to that throughout this episode. Okay, and just like that, basically all the wiring can come out. Okay, we'll get back to that soon. Okay, turn the blaster around, catch all the little screws falling out. Okay, back to the battery door. Okay, so we open that up. So we're going to start off by taking these dividers out. So we just simply pull out. Okay. Next I'm going to take this little plate out. It also just pulls out. This one needs a little bit encouragement by the looks of it. We're not going to be reusing this, so I can just actually break it off. There we go. Out. Okay, that one is a little bit more difficult to take out. So next I'm going to take my Dremel device, and I'm actually just going to remove these plastic bits. Okay, so now I'm just checking that the LIPO actually fits. Okay, and you can see it fits in perfectly. Obviously on this side we're going to fit the voltmeter, so we must leave a gap for that. Okay. Right, So next what I have to do is the LIPO has to be on this side, okay, and therefore the female connector for the LIPO is going to have to come through this plastic. I'm going to have to make a gap there for it so that it can come through. Let me just get the connector quickly. Okay, so here's the XT60 female connector that I've got, and here is the wiring as supplied by the customer. Now this wiring is a little bit thinner than what I would normally use, but we're in lockdown due to this coronavirus, this COVID-19 disease, and due to that it's really limiting to what wires I can actually get hold of. So I'm going to use this as supplied by the customer, and let's just hope that it works. I'm not sure what the amperage it is that it can handle. Oh, it says 20 amps, so we're actually kind of good. Alright, so let's start by making that little hole there. Okay, it doesn't need to be anything major due to this wiring being very thin. Okay, let's quickly feed that through there. Alright, I'm going to switch on my solder iron. Just so you know, when I turn it on, it does interfere with the video a little bit. You will hear a buzzing sound. Okay, let's see if the soldering iron is ready. Yes, it is ready. Okay, so let's start by thinning the connectors. So let's move the gun out of the way. Okay, next we want to thin the wire. I always add a little bit of flux on the tip of the wire as well. Okay, so let's quickly recap where we are at this stage. Okay, so as you can see here, I have fitted the connector to the inside of the blaster. I've drilled a hole through the side and I've connected the wiring. You can see the little cable tie there, just keeping the wires together. Then on the inside, I'll show it like this rather. You can see that I have, let me just get a pointing device. I've actually looped a cable tie around this screw point, and I've got a cable tie on the inside keeping the two wires together. So what that does, it will prevent anybody from actually just yanking the wires out of the battery compartment. Okay, so next what I have to do, let's actually see, we have to wire this up to the motors now. For now, I just need to identify on the motors what is positive, what is negative. So you can see I've got some crocodile clamps here, and I'm just going to connect it up to the wires. Okay. Red on red, black on black, just so I can make sure that I am actually wiring this thing up correctly. Okay, like that. Now we need to connect a LIPO. Okay, so turn this over. As you can see, while I was soldering, I connected the male connector into the female, just to make sure that if the connector takes a little bit of heat, that it does not accidentally melt the shape of the connector. All right, let's get this out. There we go. Next, where is the LIPO? I was a LIPO, where would I be? Ah. Okay, so we've got a LIPO here. This is not the one that would go into this blaster. There is another one lying around here somewhere that's got shorter wires that we'll be using. But let's just see if we've got the direction right. We need, okay. That confirms that it's connected the correct way. I was able to shoot the dart didn't shoot back into my face. So I know that the wires are connected correctly and the motors are turning in the right direction. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I am going to solder the wires up to the motors. And then obviously I'm going to cut it along the way as well because I need to connect the what you call it, the trigger at some point as well. Alright, so let's get going on that. Okay, so I've turned my soldering iron on, so you might hear a buzzing sound as it interferes with my recording. Okay, so black goes in the back. You have to be careful that it does not touch the positive side. Okay, so as you can see here, I've just mechanically taken the wire and I've wrapped it around the contact point. Now I'm going to apply some flux to the area. This is just to help the solder flow through the area. It really helps. Okay. So with that done, this can fit in there. Okay, so now this red wire is going to have to run down to roughly here and then connect to the switch. We can cut it. Give it a little bit of room just in case we make a mistake. Okay. Right. Got the flux in the tips. Right. So it will go this way. So we're doing the top one first. Okay. Okay, that is the first one done. Okay, the next red wire has to run all the way to the motors and then back. So let's just strip this wire as well. We want a good long chunk as we're going to connect it mechanically again. Something like that. Okay, now again we need a little bit of flux on here. Okay, and a little bit of solder. Okay, and I believe that is now connected. Okay, so all right, let's just put this in like that. Okay, now we run it through the trunking area, both wires. Okay, I can actually put the trunking back in because we are done with that stage. Okay, next, so the black wire runs up here. Okay, this red wire, I'm gonna run it down here as well. So, okay, and we are gonna need roughly that length. Okay. Strip the wire, just a small little bit. Okay, flux on the tip. Soldering iron, some solder. Okay, and let's connect it. Okay, we've got both wires connected now. So, okay, connecting the wire in here. So just push in, and these wires just run through the channel like so. Okay, now just to do a quick test. Okay, so that's obviously a trigger. I might need to screw these wires in, the motors in quickly. The thing is, it's only a test. I'm only connecting two wires. I had two screws. Okay, let's connect the LIPO back. And here is the short LIPO I was looking for earlier. So you can see I already shortened these connectors, and it will fit in very, very nicely into this blaster like that. Okay, so if all things being equal, if I now press this trigger, the blaster will rev. So basically we've wired up this gun. Okay, so next I'm just gonna put everything back in and close it all up, and then we are onto the voltmeter. Okay, so with the blaster closed up, let's quickly have a look at where we want to fit this voltmeter. Okay, you can see the door there. Blaster is basically connected, everything's done, working. Now all I need to do is fit this voltmeter into here. I'm gonna have to remove this gap here, and then what's gonna happen is this voltmeter simply connects like this. Let's just get the correct one place. Connects like this to the LIPO. Okay, so only thing remaining now is to remove the excess material there and basically glue that in. Okay, so the easiest way to remove this area is just to screw this in while connected to the blaster. gives you a bigger thing to hold on to, and cut it out straight like that. Okay, let's just make a bit of room here. My desk is a bit messy. Alright, so let's just, you know what they say, measure twice, cut once. Okay, it looks right. Okay, so this should just pop out now. There we go. Okay, now we need a file, and just move out those areas. There's a bit of melted plastic sitting here. It's welded itself back again. Right, so let's quickly see where I'm standing at this point in time. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm done with the hole that I made in the battery, extended battery cover. Okay, here is the LIPO, and I've got the voltmeter attached. Why do I have it attached already? It's so that I can see exactly where it needs to fit in within this extended battery compartment. I made a little bit of a mistake when I cut the hole. I cut it a little bit too low down. You can see here at that area that it's too big at the moment. So I'm gonna cover that up with some plastic, so cement, or what is this called? This putty. Okay. So, but first, let's just get this sensor fitted to the correct location. Okay. Alright, and that's why I'm going to use a hot glue gun for this. Okay. With the LIPO fitted, so I can get the exact spot on where it needs to go. Got my glue gun here. And I'm simply just going to glue it in place. I actually want some glue on the top of it first. Right over here. Okay, push that into position like that. Moved a bit. Okay. Now we put glue on the side. It won't be too neat. It's okay. nobody's going to see this side of the gun. Okay, now okay, so let's give this a few minutes just so that it can get a little bit colder and set. Right, so let's have a look at this now. The glue has had time to set, and you can see the sensor it's in place now. It's glued into place. The only thing is we've got now this unsightly gap there with me just not thinking correctly about that. I actually have to connect the pins at the bottom still, and therefore there will be a gap as everything needs to be moving up a bit. But what I'm going to do now next is well, first of all, let's just quickly start by just removing the excess glue here from the top. I've got a sharp knife, so I can just basically cut this away. Okay, that is done. Okay, so now I need to fill in the gaps around here with some putty. Okay, and just because I'm scared of shorts, I can now remove the battery terminal because everything is now in place. Okay, let's get the putty. Okay, and basically just push it into that cavity over there. Okay, so I've got everything done here now. As you can see, I filled in the gap with some of that plastic putty. Now it's time to connect our little LIPO. The LIPO simply pushes in onto the pins, and we should hear like a buzzing sound or a beeping sound. There we go, and you can see it is working. Next, the LIPO just connects in like that. You can see it fits in very nicely. Close it up. And it's working. Okay, so all that remains now is obviously a bit of cosmetic work. Here where the putty is, it will be sanded down, and the blaster will then be painted here where I buggered up the paintwork. But basically this is done. Thanks guys, it was a lot of fun. Hope to see you next time, and I'll keep these type of videos coming. Let me know if you enjoy it, and like and subscribe. Cheers.